following podcast contains references to the consumption of alcohol. If you are not of legal drinking age, please do not consume alcohol. Also, if you are of legal drinking age, please drink responsibly.
Hi, welcome to Rhetorical Magic Cocktail Hour. My name is Ryan, and my favorite TV show from high school was Doctor Who.
And I'm Matthew, and unfortunately, my favorite TV show in high school was The Office. Whoops.
Man. We've come a long way since high school, at least. We can at least recognize how shitty our taste was.
Yeah. Though, in high school, I did know that Doctor Who was kind of trash, but I still watched it anyway.
I like to think I was aware enough to know that it was trash, but I just ignored everything and was like, this is great.
I am going to amend my statement, though. The Moffat stuff is trash. I feel like everything before Stephen Moffat took over was passable.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
So like halfway through the Tenet years,
Yeah.
it takes a steep downturn.
I don't watch it anymore. I don't keep up anymore. I've heard some people say that it's gotten better after Capaldi, but...
Yeah, I stopped watching like halfway through Matt Smith, because I was just like, this is impossible to follow what is happening.
You're not wrong.
I think the last episode I watched was with you when I went over to your house that one time and we watched Doctor Who. Do you remember that?
Vaguely. I mean, I remember you being at my house.
I think we watched like up to the episode where it's like there's dinosaurs on a spaceship and that's the episode title, and like 3 minutes in, Matt Smith's just like, dinosaurs on a spaceship.
That doesn't surprise. I have very few memories of the actual show. I just remember that I really liked it. I also feel like I watched Flight of the Conchords a lot, but I don't know that it ever made it to like top, because I feel like that's like too good of a show for me to have been like, yes, this was my favorite in high school.
I haven't seen it since high school, so I don't know how it holds up, but
Probably not great.
yeah. It was on HBO in the early 2000s. It's probably not great.
I don't know that my taste in TV shows has gotten better, but we're not in high school anymore.
Thank God for that.
Thank God for that. So this is a podcast where we like to have a drink and try to be succinct. I know that we are kind of just drinking whatever is available right now because we're in quarantine still. We both live in places that still have their guidelines up, thank goodness.
Yeah. Whether or not people actually follow that is another
That's another thing.
thing.
Yeah, it's fun. But we're just drinking whatever we have handy. So Matthew, what are you drinking today?
So I'm drinking something called a Sweet Adeline.
Okay.
It is supposed to be 2 ounces of pomegranate juice. I substituted out grenadine. And then a ½ ounce of cinnamon simple syrup. And I goofed up some simple syrup earlier. Not to get too deep into it. So instead I substituted honey. And then you heat that up with like 4 ounces of water and steep some cinnamon orange tea in it, and you got a stew going. Except when I steeped the tea in it, it didn't darken it at all. So I'm not sure that it actually steeped.
I feel like cinnamon and orange are light enough to where it probably wouldn't.
But it's a black tea. So I don't know. So we'll find out.
Interesting. Okay.
So that's in theory what I'm drinking. What are you having tonight?
Today, this evening, tonight, I am drinking a Starbucks mango dragon fruit refresher with a shot of vodka in it that I bought this morning and promptly forgot about. So I stuck it in my freezer and I'm drinking it now.
Nice. So we're both drinking some, like, reddish pink drinks.
This color is gorgeous, by the way.
Yeah, it's like, you know when you get printer cartridges and there's like the magenta and the cyan and the yellow? Mm-hmm. That's like the perfect magenta.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm a fan of the color. I'm sure it was absolutely delicious this morning. It's good now. It's watered down weird because it has melted ice in it, otherwise known as water.
Whoa, scientific minds over here.
Pink and green, come at me, bruv. What?
So how much vodka's in there?
One shot, and I have not drank that much. I am thriving.
So what all flavors are in there? Mango
And dragon fruit, which is why I should apologize because there is like real pieces. My God, there are real pieces of dragon fruit in here, and it's very satisfying to chew the seeds. So
Okay, so that's gonna be fun.
that will be an auditory nightmare for you. I will try to abstain. I promise.
It's fine. Last episode I made some horrible, like, just sinus noises the whole time, so that's also gonna be my life today because I'm having allergy issues, but we do what we do.
We do. So we're going to do something that we did like a year ago, just with like some fun updates to see how we've kind of progressed. Last year we did a time capsule episode.
And what a time to do it.
I know, I listened back through it recently, just that way I could like pick up the same basic things that we would need to go over. We recorded it, I assume we recorded it in February.
I believe we recorded it the week before quarantine happened, because I vaguely remember, like, after recording, we were just kind of talking, and you asked me how I felt about the coronavirus thing, and I was just like, it'll be fine. And then I had forgotten who the powers in charge were everywhere, and how they like to handle things. And here we are.
Yeah, we are coming up a year on quarantine, which will make for some interesting favorites, and we might see some repeat guys because... Is it bad?
It's weird.
To the
I don't
listeners,
think honey was the right choice.
to the listeners at home, Matthew took a sip of his drink, and the face was very specific. I don't know how to describe it. I might screenshot this.
Please don't. The tea definitely did not steep. So it's hot grenadine and honey.
That's the thing that I don't understand the most. Like, I feel like grenadine and pomegranate juice have very different flavors.
I think there must be like a shit ton of sugar in grenadine too. And like other flavors.
Yeah, I view grenadine as like a concentrated pomegranate Kool-Aid.
That's basically how it tastes.
So
Not great warm.
So today we're kind of just updating and kind of seeing the things that we're into right now. What books and movies. Let's start with just like a general update. Matthew, what have you been up to for the last year?
You know, hanging out, thriving. I don't know. I feel like I've been, all things considered, fortunate this last year because I didn't like lose my job and I still have a place to live and access to food and all that. So, you know, all things considered, thumbs up. I did a thumbs up, but people can't hear that.
Yeah,
Um,
I would agree
yeah.
that I was very fortunate. I transitioned to work from home for a year. It's funny to me listening back because last year I was like 4.5 months into the job, and then a week later I was told, "Oh, we're switching up how we're doing that. We're gonna work from home now." And then I was very fortunate. I spent a little bit of time with my parents because I like punishment, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I transitioned back up to Kansas City, and I am thriving with my two cats who are more comfortable than probably the last time we recorded. Because they were a theme last time.
Yeah, I kind of listened through, and it's like I would skip every so often, and then there would be like breaks where it's just like, oh, Honora's up here now, or oh, Danny's doing this.
They're much calmer now, and I might get yelled at for this. I have a spray bottle if they get too
Ooh.
rowdy. Because they've liked trying to use my couch as a scratching post, which isn't a huge deal because I am getting a new cover, but I need to have that broken before the new cover comes in. Maybe switch to water, friend.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just gonna a little bit steeped because then I got a bunch of cinnamon just now. So I'll try to keep the faces to a minimum.
But yes, all things considered, we've both been pretty fortunate. Okay, so last year I know that we for sure talked about music, and
Yep. We talked about squirrel flower
Squirrel
for about
flower.
30 minutes.
a lot. Oh my gosh.
Viewers at home can't see, but I'm wearing a squirrel flower shirt because I remembered talking about it for 30 minutes. Yeah, I tried to listen back to that episode, but it was very cringy for me personally, listening to myself.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good episode. I want to say it's one of our most listened to.
Yeah.
It's up there.
That doesn't have a paranormal title, probably. That seems to do better.
But yeah, so who are you listening to now? Is Squirrel Flower still as relevant as they were a year ago? In your life?
Maybe not as relevant, but I still listen to I Was Born Swimming a lot. So I've hit the point in my music where last year was all about Squirrel Flower. This year is all about music I've heard about through Squirrel Flower, social media. So, I've been listening to a lot of I also have this issue again where I don't know if it's a band or a person for a lot of these. So, Valley Maker, which is an artist, I believe, that I've listened to a little bit that I heard about through Squirrel Flower. They kind of do like acoustic-y folk rock sort of stuff. They just put out a new album not too long ago that I have been really digging called When the Day Leaves. It's got a very... I don't know if you can see the cover, but it's very soothing to me for some reason.
Yeah, the title is very Matthew. Like, you're definitely their target audience there, bud.
Yeah. But yeah, if anybody listening for some reason wants to check them out, I would suggest the songs Mockingbird or When the Day Leaves, the titular track. My sister also likes Pine Trees, so if you're into the music my sister's into, Pine Trees. I also like it. It's a good song, but it's not my top song on the album. But yeah, I've also been listening to a band / person called Oceanator,
Yeah.
which I think maybe I've sent you one of their songs.
Yes, and I think that it has made its way onto the playlist of songs that remind me of you.
Mm-hmm. I Don't Mind, I believe is what it's called.
I believe you're correct. Yes. Yes. So what got you in?
And then-
Is that another Squirrel Flower social
that's
media.
another Squirrel Flower social media. It seems like there was something else that I was been really into, but I can't think of what it is off the top of my head. And the music on my phone is no help. I don't know. I've been listening to my usuals too, like the Marias and remembered what it was. Do you know Waxahachie?
I don't. Why are you hiding
It's-
all this good music from me, Matthew?
Because I feel like I send people music too much. I feel like it's not a cool look. But it's last year. Did you talk about a band called P.S. Eliot?
I did talk about a band called P.S. Eliot.
Waxahachie is a spin-off of one of the sisters. in
Okay.
that. She put out an album called St. Cloud. It is Chef's Kiss beautiful. But yeah. Yeah, because when I looked her up, I was like, why does P.S. Eliot sound familiar? And then like a couple weeks later, it was just like, oh, that's the band that Ryan talked about that I was like, I don't know him, but I like the name. But yeah. So that's my long essay of what I've been listening to. What have you been, almost said popping in your ear holes, but that is a gross phrase. What have you been listening to?
I feel like this year, my music tastes have not grown and expanded as much as I probably would have liked. It was a lot of comfort listens, so it was like a resurgence of like Hozier. I have a couple newer-ish artists that I've been really into. One I don't know that you'll like, and I've talked to you about him before. His name is Joseph Dubé.
Is he the one that you played me that song and I, like 2 seconds in, I was just like, nope. Do you remember that?
No, that was like a Sia song, and that was when we were still in college, bud. No, it was Sia or it was Melanie Martinez, which I've grown way past both of them. Thank God. I'm cooler now. No, 2 seconds. That also might have been a weekend. There's a lot of songs that I feel like I show you.
It was a guy with that very, like, I don't know how to describe it, but that voice, you know, that like indie guys like to do.
It might have. I don't know. Because I don't know that I've sent you his music, and we haven't listened to him together in person.
Okay, so it's not that one.
No. That makes me think it might have been a Weekend. No, not The Weekend. Who's that other one? Was it really falsetto?
No. It was like that weird folky twangy thing that people do sometimes. I don't know how to describe it.
Was that the Front Bottoms?
Maybe?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Doesn't matter.
I've made like
Succinct.
a slight emo renaissance in my life. Mm-hmm. Because that's very much what his newer stuff is geared toward. He used to have more of like a folksy sound, so that's why I'm confused. Like, but we've never listened to him in person together, so I don't know what situation you're talking about. Also, we haven't been in the same room.
It was not high school, college, because we were in that dorm apartment when you lived as like the person that was over the whole building.
Yeah.
And I can very clearly remember being at your table by the window and you playing like 2 seconds of it and me just being like, nope.
Yeah, that was
Not for me.
that was forever ago. That's not
For Emma forever ago.
I did actually recently listen to Bon Iver because of a conversation we had. And by that I mean I listened to For Emma Forever Ago last night because you'd said that.
Yep.
That was like I know what song it is because it starts like really high, like falsetto-y. It's like the Hold On To Me, but I can't remember who sings it.
Was it Stay With Me by Sam Smith? Because I would have been into that. Because did I ever tell you that I went through a Sam Smith phase?
We've talked about it briefly, and I love that about you. The song is Unsteady by Ex Ambassadors. Yeah, you didn't like that. That was pretty basic back then.
It was college. Just drinking Monster vodkas and listening to basic music.
Love that for me. But no, lately I've been listening to Joseph Dubay, stream him on Spotify. And then as far as like other music, I don't know, I've been really into music lately that makes me think about religious trauma.
Ooh,
trying
that's a hosier.
Trying to come to terms with Catholic school and all that fun stuff. Joseph Dubay is the artist that when I had sent you that shitty meme I made of Marge Simpson holding not Michael Bublé but the other guy, and I said like Sapphics.
Oh, okay.
I just think they're
I forgot about that one. I was like, I thought that was Claro.
I also did Claro, but that was bisexuals.
Yeah, I was getting the memes mixed up.
Sorry, they're all too dank.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it's been like a resurgence. Who was that one band that I listened to? Oops, this is great podcast.
Game Corner. What is that band? Matthew's gonna guess. Lumineers.
No, it's an artist, Nicole Dolenganger. They have a song called Executioner that is pretty good.
Never heard of them.
Hey, I know a band you don't. That's exciting.
I feel like you know a lot of bands that I don't.
I feel like I will like be really excited. So like whenever I listen to music, I go through like a couple of different facets. I listen to them and I'm like, okay, do I like them? Yes or no? And then because you're pretty much the main person that I speak to, I'm like, would Matthew like them? Yes or no? And I feel like every time I'm like, yes, Matthew would like them, I'll like reach out to you about it, and then you'll be like, oh yeah, I know them, and I'm like, well shit, like, what's the point?
I'll start pretending that I don't
No.
every like third one.
Don't pretend, it's fine. I just wish that I had more obscure music tastes, I guess.
I haven't been listening to them, but the word pretend reminded me of MGMT, and that reminded me of high school.
Ugh. Let's just take a moment to be thankful that I'm better than I was in high school. I'm not going to speak for you.
Thought you were gonna say let's take a moment of silence for our music taste in high school.
I mean, that's not a bad idea.
Are you saying that Here I Dreamt I Was an Architect for a loop on it for an hour is not good musical taste, Ryan? While I edit the school paper. Wink.
I love it because I feel like I would be able to like leave for any period of time and then come back, and I would assume that you'd like listen to the whole album, but it apparently was just that song on repeat.
Nope. I would just pull it up on YouTube, and anytime it stopped, go back to that page, hit replay, and then go stare at the paper some more. Not actually do anything about the paper, just stare at it.
Oh man, fun times. I'm glad I'm not who I was in high school. Let's take a hydration station. We haven't done one of those in a minute.
Ooh.
And I feel
No, we
like
haven't.
it's time for that.
It's time for the resurgence.
Hi, welcome to Hydration Station, the part of the podcast where we take a drink of water because hydration is important and we don't want hangovers tomorrow.
Yep. Because, yep.
Enjoy.
It's like Mama always says, drink of water and you're being smarter. That didn't rhyme. I tried to do a quick rhyme and it didn't work. This is why Poetry Corner never works. Back to the show.
Delicious.
Hydration.
Okay, Matthew, so we talked about bands and music. What about some books? I know that you're back on your reading a lot this year, so what are you reading right now?
So, I have kind of fallen off. I'm still reading, but I'm going to try to do the majority of my reading in the summer because I'll have more free time then. But at the moment, I'm reading a book that I believe I've talked about on the show before called Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. It's sort of like a native mythology influenced fantasy, epic fantasy.
Nice.
I'm like 100 pages into it. So, I mean, I know what's going on, but a lot hasn't happened yet, which is to be expected with fantasy. Because you gotta, like, lay the groundwork. But yeah, I've been wanting to read this for a while because I've read her other books. And I've heard good things about this one. But yeah, I'm kind of behind on my reading goal. It's like I don't have a monthly goal, but I have a yearly goal. So in theory, I should have 2 and like a half books read, but I've only got 1 and a half. But yeah, the other book I've read is Salvage the Bones, by Jessamine Ward. That was good. It was about a family in, I believe it was Mississippi. It's been about a month since I've read this, so it's kind of hazy. But it's like Hurricane Katrina's coming, and then there's also like interpersonal, like character stuff going on too, and yeah. It was a good read. I would recommend it. Though it does, it's not like stream of conscious, but sometimes it kind of like her writing, Jessamine Ward. I've read another one of her books called Sing Unburied Sing, I think. And she does like, not like stream of conscious, but you know what I'm trying to say? Like it's not a linear sort of storytelling. So I don't think it's a tough read, but it's an active read, if that makes sense.
No, it does. I like that.
So yeah. What have you been reading?
I have been trying to like get through old books that like I have started, but old, it's not like that old. I have this like big complete collection of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And I've been trying to get through that. That's also something that's like made a resurgence from high school. The last book that I didn't finish it, did I? I really liked it, and I just left the device that I had been reading it on at home or at my parents' house, so I haven't been able to finish it. But I really was enjoying the startup, and that was Nevada by Imogen Binnie.
What's that about? I don't think I've heard of that.
It is about a trans woman who kind of reevaluates what she wants out of her life, and goes on a trip and like does like a road trip and kind of like figures herself out and what she enjoys, what she doesn't, and I think that's really cool. I'm trying to incorporate more LGBTQ reading because I feel like it's responsible to read stories of communities that I belong in. I don't necessarily belong in like, I don't identify as trans myself, but it's an important aspect of the community, like the larger community that I'm in. And so reading those stories is kind of important to me. So I picked that up and I felt good. Like the writing style is a little stream of consciousness, and it is also very blunt. Like it's not, like it's very to the point, which I like.
There's not a lot of like imagery. It's more like literal. Or is that what you mean?
Yeah, it's very grounded in like physicality more so than like metaphor and
and simile.
Yes.
I took English.
But it's been really good, and I look forward to remembering to bring that back up so I can finish it.
Yeah, that's kind of like how I read. It's like I'll read half a book and then set it down and then start another book and then get halfway through that and then go back to the original book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've also read Fernie and Zoe recently again.
Was that a shot at me?
No, not.
We were going to do an episode about it and then I just never read it. I have it.
No, it's not a shot.
I'll read it eventually.
It's just a fun little fact about me as I've recently reread J.D. Salinger, who I stand by to this day is a better short story writer than a novelist. I hate J.D. Salinger's novel. Did he write? I don't think he wrote more than one novel, did he?
I don't think so.
At least not that
he's got
popular.
He's got Catcher in the Rye, obviously.
Which was a garbage book. Sorry, High School Matthew.
Yeah. I actually didn't like it. That was a goof. Did I actually say that on the episode? Is that going to be? I don't remember.
You said
it's been so long
today.
ago. I know, but so I mean, he's got like 9 stories, which is short stories, and then Raise High the Roof Beam / Seymour. I don't think he has another.
And
novel.
Franny and Zoe. I don't.
Yeah.
At least not one that made it. Like, I'm sure that it's statistically possible that one exists that just never got published.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you have a favorite J.D. Salinger short story? Have we talked about that before?
I don't know. I am so basic because I'm about to say Banana Fish. A Perfect Day for Banana Fish. I just like how the ending is very just like abrupt. Like, I like that about a lot of his writing, and I think Teddy was similar. And like, things are happening, and then it's just like, oh shit, somebody.
Oh, somebody's dead. Whoops.
What's your favorite Salinger short story?
Probably Seymour an Introduction.
Really? I thought you were gonna say either Franny or Zoe.
I've never actually read them. Those are like the only 2 of his that I haven't read.
Okay, well, I recommend it. I won't spoil anything.
It's because they're like over 100 pages, so I feel like I need to read them in one sitting, but I don't have the attention span to read 100 pages in a sitting.
That's fair.
So, yeah, that's the struggle. But yeah, Seymour an Introduction I really like because it's not really like a story, it's just him talking. And it's just like rambly, and there's always like fun like asterisks and then something written in the bottom. I don't know what that's called.
Footnotes?
Footnotes, yeah. I took English. But yeah. That's my favorite, and I'm sticking to it.
All right, look at you go.
Look at me now.
So at the beginning of the episode, we had mentioned our favorite TV shows in high school. What about TV shows now? What are you watching these days?
So, I have been watching a lot of, well, not a lot of, but I've been watching WandaVision.
Yes, me as well.
Yes. And I'm sure we will get into that later. Spoilers. We'll probably put the timestamp for the spoilers in the details of the episode, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll try to remember to text them to you.
Okay.
But, yeah, I've been watching a lot of that. And what else have I been watching? I feel like there's something else, but I can't remember. Nope. What have you been watching besides WandaVision?
Nothing really notable. I feel like as far as like TV, I was talking with somebody about it recently, about how like at the beginning of quarantine, I feel like people had like these set things that they like all got into, like
Tiger
King. Later on, more recently, like Queen's Gambit and Bridgerton. I feel like a lot of people really got into. And I avoided all of that. I have had this thought recently, and it's hard for me to like pick up new media. I tend to rewatch things over and over again. So the fact that you got me to watch WandaVision is pretty impressive. But yeah, so it's just kind of been rewatching shows that I've seen before, and none of them have been that memorable. I do have this thought, and I think it would be kind of funny, is if I got into all of those shows that were really popular at the beginning of quarantine now. It's like if I got really into Tiger King. I don't see it happening. I don't have enough interest in doing it, but in my head, that's a really funny thing that I could do.
Just as a goof.
Yeah, but I don't like doing things just because it's funny to me. Like, I need to have a better reason to consume a specific form of media. I have watched WandaVision, and I liked it. I didn't like the ending. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it just felt kind of milquetoast.
Yeah, I kind of was expecting it to not quite stick the landing. Because, I mean, I feel like it would have been better if somehow the ending incorporated, like, going through the sitcoms into, like, the final battle or something.
Yeah.
'Cause to me, that's what made WandaVision good. Was, like, the use of the sitcoms as a plot device.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, at the end, it's just like, oh, we're all going to punch now. We're going to do some punches.
It was, we're all gonna punch now, and, like, I feel like the villain... I don't know, I feel like the timing was weird with that. Like, it was just... It was it didn't... The story didn't pan out as effectively as it could have. I like the breakdown. I like it as a miniseries, and I appreciate that they did miniseries and not movie. Not miniseries, limited series, I guess.
Yeah, same thing.
Because... I don't think it would have played as a movie. Like, I don't think that they could have done it as a movie within, like, the traditional time frame. But yeah, the end, like, it felt rushed, I guess. And, like, I really liked Wanda as a character throughout the whole thing, and then the ending, it was just, like, I was expecting to cry. Like, I was ready with a camera or with my phone to take a picture and show you, like, a picture of me, like, full sobbing, and it just didn't happen. And I'm a crier. Yeah. I cry at the dumbest things in movies and TV shows, but it didn't happen. Like, nothing felt that emotionally drawing to me.
Yeah. Did you cry in the 8th episode, the one before the finale?
What point?
Where they go through her memories?
There were points that I teared up, but I don't think that I actually ended up crying.
Because, yeah, I mean, I don't always get misty, but yeah, I kind of got a little misty. I don't remember exactly what it was, but there was something where it's like, oh no, WandaVision is going to make me cry. This is fun. Although, fun fact, one time I watched Captain Marvel on an airplane, and I did almost cry at a certain point, but I think it might have been because of the lack of oxygen.
Whatever helps you sleep at night, friend.
Loopy.
No.
But there's a scene where she stands up a lot, and it's very emotional. You've never seen it.
I need to watch Captain Marvel now.
You don't. I mean,
I'm going to, though. I just have attention span for me is like a thing, and I don't know why I can watch 8 episodes of a series, but I can't watch, like, a whole movie. Like, it's harder for me somehow.
Well, the episodes of WandaVision aren't super long. A lot of the Disney Plus shows aren't super long episodes. Like The Mandalorian, I think most of the episodes are like 30 minutes. I don't expect you to watch The Mandalorian. I know your feelings on Baby Yoda.
I will not watch that one.
Would you watch it if the Baby Yoda wasn't in it?
I don't know. I'm not that invested in Star Wars.
Okay.
I really
I'm
like
not
Carrie
really
Fisher, but I don't think
either.
that's a good enough reason to watch a series that doesn't have her in it anymore.
Yeah. It's got a weird spoilers. It's got a weird digitally de-aged Mark Hamill in it.
That just sounds worse for some reason.
He adopts Baby Yoda.
Mark Hamill is fine, I guess.
It's not Mark Hamill. It's weird digitally de-aged Mark Hamill.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, he wasn't the reason I liked the old Star Wars movies.
But what if it was Mark Hamill, but like unsettlingly uncanny valley version of him? Like his face doesn't move right, but you can't quite place why.
You know, you've sold me. I'm gonna watch an entire series just for what I assume is a few moments on screen
Yeah.
of Uncanny Valley.
It's maybe like 5 minutes at the end.
Mark Hamill.
Another thing I did appreciate in WandaVision, getting back to the original topic, is it like incorporated horror kind of more than I was expecting. Mm-hmm. Like there were some jump scares that I was not quite expecting, which I think Wanda is supposed to be in the next Doctor Strange, which is kind of what this WandaVision was setting up, and it's supposed to be like horror, like straight up horror movie.
Is she going to be in the new Spider-Man?
Yet to be confirmed.
Can we have a quick update about the new Spider-Man?
So
And the
the
multiverse.
The Spider-Verse is not happening. I don't think they got Tobes, and I don't think they got Andrew Garfield.
Aw.
But I think Jamie Foxx and Alfred Molina are in it still. So
Maybe they'll like superimpose and make a super Spider-Man that's just like all of their, like you'll get an Uncanny Valley Tom Holland that also looks kind of like Andrew Garfield and also looks like Tobey Maguire. Only the Tobey Maguire part where he's ugly crying though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, anytime it cries, it's just they cut to that scene. Yeah, or alternatively, they all three play the same Peter Parker. It's just randomly between like cuts, they'll switch actor but won't like acknowledge it. That way they just have to pay each of them a third of what they would have. It's cost saving.
Except it would really freak me out if, like, I know that in your mind that they would set it up to where like the age appropriate actors are with the age appropriate love interests. But the thought of Zendaya
Tobey Maguire
trying to kiss Zendaya is very distressing to me, and I don't want that for her.
Yeah, that wouldn't be great. So Tobes is only going to do the fight scenes. Tom Holland obviously is going to do like the Zendaya and Jacob Batalon stuff because that's that trio. And then Andrew Garfield's going to do
a sad
the
scene
scenes
with a ghost of Emma Stone. Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2 spoilers.
Nobody's going to watch it. No, he's just going to do the scenes where it's like he's swinging, but only when he's swinging up.
And only when he has the mask on.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah. Yes. They paid like $3 million for Andrew Garfield, but only with his mask on. It's like, wow, Tom Holland sounds really different when he wears the mask. I don't know why. Oh.
Marvel should hire
Alternatively, they get Tom Hardy to be Spider-Man with the mask on. And then somebody can be like, what happens if I take off the mask?
Ooh.
And he can go, it would be very painful for you. And then everybody be like, why does Spider-Man have a weird Haitian accent now?
Correct me if I'm wrong, was Tom Hardy in a Spider-Man adjacent movie? Wasn't he Venom?
He's in Venom, yeah.
So that could be a thing.
He has my favorite line in any Spider-Man media where he just yells, Jesus Christ! But he says it in a real funny voice.
I will have to look for that.
I mean, don't watch Venom. It's not a great movie. I can scrub through it later and find it and just send that to you. That way you don't have to watch him eat, like... There's a scene where he's in a restaurant and I think he eats just like raw beef in a fish tank. That doesn't seem right.
That sounds like a weird conceptual art piece that you and I would think up on a night where we've had too much to drink.
But instead, it's just the Marvel movie. Venom is very much the performance art piece of the Marvel movie universe, not the cinematic universe, because I don't think it's part of that. But
I was gonna say, is that going to be available on Disney Plus? Is that something that I could watch after, say, I watch Captain Marvel?
I don't think so, because I don't think any of the Sony stuff is on Disney Plus. You could watch The Wolverine, the movie where he goes to Japan. It's not great either.
I love you very much, and I very much appreciate our friendship, but we should probably not talk about Wolverine.
Not that movie, just the one after it is the one I'm talking about.
Matthew, we've already gotten to down, and you're correct, you're right. I was wrong very much, but I don't want to talk about Wolverine.
We're not going to talk about it. What did you think of X-Men Pietro showing up in, or I guess he's Peter in the X-Men movies, but as Quicksilver in WandaVision? Kind of. Not exactly. I
liked it. Not as much as I liked Kat Dennings saying she recast Pietro. That hit me with some, like, serotonin I wasn't expecting to get from any Marvel media. And that, in my opinion, was the best part of WandaVision, was the friendship between Kat Dennings, Randall Park, and, oh my gosh, what is her name?
Teyonah Parris?
Thank you. Another thing that took me out of WandaVision is, as soon as I finished watching it, I was like, crap, I should have waited, because I watched it before you did, and I was like, I should have waited for when I assumed Matthew was home. Because I didn't know who one of the characters was in the cutscene, and I didn't know if that was, like, supposed to... Because I think that other people watching it who follow the Marvel Cinematic Universe more closely were probably like, oh my gosh, I understand, like... Captain America's, I understand that reference kind of a thing, but it was just lost on me. Like, I had never seen that person before, and I had no clue who it was supposed to be.
Yeah. I mean, if you watched Captain Marvel, you would probably understand what that person was.
So when I eventually watch Captain Marvel, can I live tweet you? Sorry, can I live text you the whole time?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. This is contractual. this is the verbal contract that you're agreeing to right now.
Yeah. Have you become a notary yet? Can we?
No. Oh my gosh, I need to do that. That's what I'm going to do. I don't know how long it takes to become a notary. But in my 26th year, I'm going to try my hardest. I'm not going to commit to that. I want to eventually be a notary.
In your 26th year, you will think about becoming a notary.
I will research how to become a notary.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that end scene was supposed to set up the Secret Invasion show that's going to happen, I think. For all you nerds out there.
Will Randall Park be a part of it?
God, I hope so.
He's lovely.
Everybody wants like him and Kat Dennings to have like a X-Files version, like Marvel show.
I would watch that.
Where it's just like they just go around and have weird cases, and it's like, yes, please, please, 5 seasons, please now.
I would watch that very fast. But yeah. WandaVision. Sorry for the spoilers. So to kind of wrap things up, Matthew, how do you feel how are you looking to the future? What are your plans for the next year? What are some highlights that you think that we might see when we do this time capsule episode again?
So this year, the Falcon Winter Soldier show comes out, and also Loki, and also Ms. Marvel, maybe. So that's gonna be my year. I don't know. I assume I'll have heard of different musical artists through Squirrel Flower, so I'll be listening to that. I assume I will have read some. And yeah, just living. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Living. That song does not say living. Why do I keep trying to? Ryan, back at you. Don't remember what the question was.
This time next year, hopefully we will be existing in the same space. That would be rad. I hope that my music tastes continue to evolve, so one day I can look back and be like, Psh, you listen to that guy? Wow, that's crazy. Look how stupid you were. Just like I am right now with high school me.
But isn't that just growth?
No, it is. I would hate to not be embarrassed by the person I was 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm. What is cringing at your bad music taste, if not love persevering? WandaVision.
But yeah. Do you want to drop socials?
Yep, let me get them out of my pocket. Oh god, they're everywhere. I dropped them all over. That was a goof. So we're at Rhetorical No, we're not. We're at Rhetorical Magic on social medias. I am at RMCH Matthew. And Ryan is
Queer Mothra.
Yep. So find us wherever you get your social media. Be good to one another on that social media.
Yes.
And also in real life, where it matters too.
As we say at the end of every episode.
Panic.
Clink, clink.
That doesn't work. Mm-hmm.
I'm pulling up the
doing a smooth jazz transition into the
smooth jazz
break segment.
Yes. Did you like how on the outline I did put existential dread over the last year? What are your thoughts on? Did you appreciate?
I did. It was a quality goof, and I gave it 2 thumbs up.
Okay, I don't. That was 1 thumb, but okay.
The other one was down here.